Guys, today is the day that we're gonna rip the front end off the truck. I'm taking everything apart. First thing I gotta do is gotta clean this damn shop up because we've had a lot of projects in and out of here the past couple weeks. I have facial hair now. The last clip y'all seen, I might have just had a mustache. I'm honestly not sure. But yeah, that puts in perspective of how long this process is taking to build this truck. So last night I went ahead and changed my tail lights. They're just basically smoked factory tail lights. They look just like the factory ones. They're just smoked. And I think with the white truck it looks pretty good. Now we're going to swap out this bumper, so I'm gonna give you all a little time lapse of me doing that. See the old bumper, which y'all dented up. So this is a Chinesium like copy. Gotta do some work on my holes here because obviously it being a Chinese remand, it's kind of not want to line up right like the old one does. So alright guys, truck's in here, and in the last video, put the new tires and wheels on it. You guys remember that? So now we are going to rip the entire front end off. I'm rebuilding the entire front end suspension component, uppers and lowers, control arms. I'm pulling the front axle out. We're re-gearing it just like we did the rear. And I've also got new steering components. So we're dropping the steering rack and putting a new steering rack in it with all new tie rod ends and all that stuff. What else are we doing? I'm also digging into the bottom end of the motor. The motor has a upper oil pan gasket leak and I can't stand it. Truck looks too nice and new for that to stand, so pull that down, take a look at the inside of the motor, put a new gasket on it, call it good. This video we're gonna focus on getting the whole thing tore down. All right, we are now to the point. I've never taken this bumper off, but I have had all this off a couple times. Shouldn't be too bad, hopefully. All this stuff's getting replaced, except that one piece of white trimming. That's not getting replaced. I would like to paint it though, but I'm no painter, so yeah, this is getting replaced. Well, the white piece is getting replaced, and then I have new headlights. That has to go back. Sadly, it's look, I'm on a budget, guys. I can't do everything, so. All right, got the bumper off. GM, for some reason, kept the fog light bracket on all the trucks, even if the bumpers didn't have them, so, which is a good thing because my new bumper has fog lights. My rough country skid plates, you can see how that oil build up. This thing's leaking pretty good. I mean, it has been for a couple years and I just haven't addressed it, but that's part of this whole shindig. We're gonna get it jacked up, get the tires off, and probably stop for lunch after that. It's so freaking hot out here, y'all. You have no idea. There we go. Oh God, I didn't know it was that bad. These are not how-to videos by no means, don't get me wrong. There's definitely different ways of doing this, and I am no professional, as you guys can tell, but I will give you a couple tips whenever I think to remember to give you a couple tips. When you're taking these hubs apart and you're knocking this axle loose, make sure you take your wheel speed sensor out before you start trying to get that off. I can't tell you how many of those I broke in the past working on vehicles like this, or you know, that have them wheel speed sensors. Because you will break them, some of them it don't really matter as much, but they do stick out there just a very small amount, and just make sure you take those out before you knock your hub loose. Got the crap disassembled. I gotta figure out how to get that thing out. That thing is so bad, like, good God almighty. You're gonna have to get it aligned after you do all this, but you want it to be as close as possible so the drive to the place to get an alignment done, you don't destroy everything. All these components are only like 30 or 40,000 miles old, so hopefully the next set of components don't let me down so bad. Chevy, what is this design? Why would you design it this way? And no, it ain't the lift kit. Uppers and lowers are out. I'll pull the shock out, and this side is all done. All my parts laying right there, and get it all tore apart. That's what it looked like before. There we go. Also, I want y'all know, I've been through like 5 Gojo wipes trying to mitigate. I mean, I don't really care. It's just sometimes I don't want to be messing with the camera or messing with certain tools with hands that look like this. I think that's where I'm gonna stop for the night. Pick it up again whenever we can, whenever we start dropping the front axle and the front steering rack. Then we'll be fixing the gasket and then fixing those two things. Yeah, so we'll cut to that. All right, pulled the cross member out.
And we need to get everything unplugged.
Now we got direct access to the front pumpkin. Got the front drive shaft unhooked. Now I got a wrestle taping it. We're gonna unplug it, and then we should be ready to unbolt, right?
Yep.
Show them that we got it out of here. Let's put on the workbench over here. Oh, sure, it's gonna be worse than that. All right, there she is. And guys, that's gonna be all for today. We got that out, the old rack out. So she's really bare under there now. Like really bare. And I gotta get up under here and do that upper oil pan. Guys, it is another day working on the Silverado. Been a couple days since I've been out here. Just been kind of busy doing stuff like this. And, you know, having a good time. So now, getting back on it. I need to have this truck on the road in about 3 weeks-ish. So we gotta keep chipping away at it. I do have a game plan. As soon as the weather clears up, I'm gonna get this all cleaned up and then we're gonna start busting into this. I'm having to put this aside for just a second. A couple things on this truck that you can't get to without the axle being out. I wanna get that done. And then we're gonna go from there. The oil cooler lines and the upper oil pan gasket are the two things I'm referring to. You cannot replace them without pulling the axle and the power steering rack. So I'm gonna crawl up under here, take a look at some stuff, order some parts, and then we're gonna work on it a little bit. I don't have a lot of time today. We're gonna chip away at it some. My oil cooler is leaking right there, where it connects, and it runs right here up into the where the oil filter hooks up. So it's actually really easy to replace once all this is out. And it runs up over there. Very simple. I'll just have to drain the oil out of this thing, which I have to drain the oil out of it anyway, because as you can see, my upper oil pan is leaking like a cyst all around the gaskets. So that's got to come out, which that looks like it's going to be not too bad. Definitely maybe a little challenging. Got to work out where them lines go and get them out of my way, but not going to be a super big deal. Just got to make sure we don't break any bolts off. But this thing's actually not due for an oil change, but it's getting one, obviously. Those are the two main things I got to do while I'm down here before I put the axle and the power steering rack back in. The oil is draining. I'm going to let that drip for a while because I want that thing as drained as possible. Then I'm gonna start figuring out exactly how this oil pan has to come out. But I'm probably not gonna have time to actually do it today. All right, everybody, it's another day working on the Chevy. Today, we're gonna give the front diff a bath. This thing is filthy. And then we're gonna stick it in the truck, haul it to the machine shop, and rebuild it just like we did the last one. Today's other goal is to get this oil cooler line off. Oh, that one right there. Gonna get that off. Guys, I'm just gonna work off camera and get this oil cooler line off. I will update you guys once it's off. Currently working on the top clips. Now I'm gonna pull the bottom off. The bottom is super easy. I'll show you guys when I'm done, but in time crunch, so trying to get it done today.
I freaking got it.
I'm disgusting. It's been a while since I was this dirty up under a vehicle. What a bad oil cooler line looks like on a 2014 Chevy Silverado. That's it right there. I don't exactly know what was bad. I just know it was leaking real bad. Right there. Pretty sure it was leaking around these connections here. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Alright guys, it's a brand new day. Let's get this oil pan took apart. The axle is currently at the machine shop, so we're gonna pull this oil pan off, get the oil pan gasket changed, and I'm gonna show you guys how to do it. Or at least, I mean, I'm learning as I go, so I'm gonna show y'all how I do it. Oh, that gasket is shot, son. Look at that. No wonder that thing was pissing off. You can see where it was pissing off. Man, that's so cool. Things are getting deep up in here. All right, upper oil pan. If you guys didn't know what it looks like on a Chevy 5.3. Lower oil pan, this little guy, I've been inside of it before. Never had that off. That actually really wasn't too bad if you already have everything tore out of it like I do. Not a big deal. Working on peeling this gasket off and getting this one cleaned up. I gotta clean up the underside too, like up under there. Gotta clean that. Lots of cleaning ahead of me. And then we're gonna RTV it, gasket seal it, the whole thing, because I'm not buying another one of these gaskets. This thing ain't that old and it's already like bad. I think I put it on the truck 3 or 4 years ago, so there ain't no sense in that in my opinion. So we're gonna gasket seal all of it because I'm not buying another one. And that's the only leaks the truck had. So in theory, now this is theory, hopefully I'm correct, the truck shouldn't leak any oil. Outside of the valve cover gasket. I mean, do you guys want to do valve cover gaskets on that? I don't, and they're not that bad. So that's gonna be the only one after this.
This might be a disaster.
Oil pan gaskets in, both of them, as you see in the last clip. Just gotta get the oil cooler line in, and I almost forgot the dipstick, had to run back and do that, but I've got a piece of trash in my piece of dirt or something, so I gotta go get that out and take a little break for a second. I got that new oil line installed, cooler line. Looks like some mounts on my radiator hose is busted, but I will fix that after we do the belts, because right now it might be nice to have that floating in there. But yeah, still got a ways to go. But yeah, all the oil stuff is done. Now we just gotta finish the front axle and get it put back.